Hello and welcome back. I'm Joe, and this is another test for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. Today we're going to check out what the differences are between the 5 different major road types, if they're worth having, if they're maybe not worth having, and we're going to look at them during regular days, during day and night cycles, during rain, and during snow. So stick around. Let me talk about our setup. You can see that we're just at dawn. It's going to get bright here pretty soon, so it should be pretty nice, but our setup is pretty basic. We have all 5 roads. Let's look at the 5 roads individually. We have the mud road on the left, max speed 35 kilometers, walking speed 60%, cool. We have the gravel road right next to it over here. Gravel road is 60 kilometer max speed and walking speed 75%, makes sense. Then we have an asphalt road right over here. The asphalt road is 110 kilometers and 90% walking speed. Then we have the asphalt road with street lights and sidewalk. Max speed 110 and walking speed 115, that's this one. And then the last one, the trolley bus road, which is essentially the same as the asphalt road with street light and sidewalk, plus it also has another pole for the trolley bus, and that's this one. I'm assuming that this one and the trolley bus road and the asphalt with lights and sidewalk are effectively the same, but just for completeness sake, we're just going to run these. Cool. One quick tidbit that you may or may not know, the street lights here will not turn on if you don't have a substation somewhere near enough to the roads. Otherwise, they just don't count. So keep that in mind when you want to run this. It doesn't show up in your consumption on the substation, as you can see over here, because all this is the 0.10 from the gas station over here. The rest of the setup, the distance from this customs house to, and we're just going to follow the path, all the way down to the warehouses that we're connected to is about 5 kilometers. If you don't trust me, that's okay, but it's about 5 kilometers. I guess I can just run this nice little tool that we have now, so you can actually believe me. Not exactly 5, but it's about 5 kilometers. So let's go all the way back here. And all the trucks are supposed to do is drive out there, drop off whatever they are currently loading, and then go back. So 5,200 meters, that's about 5 kilometers. It's a little less. So yeah, that's what we have. So that's what we're going to use to calculate this if you want to do the math. All trucks are pretty much the same. They are coded to have the name of the warehouse that they're going to, because this will be important. Once I start them, they will all go refuel, and then they will go. The way they're all set up is they will go to the customs house first, load 100% of crops, then they will go to their respective warehouse, and then they will come back to the vehicle depot. And by the time they're back, we're not going to look at the time, because a truck that drives on the gravel road is going to take a lot longer than, mud road is going to take a lot longer than the gravel road. It's going to take a lot longer than on the asphalt road. And at night, if we take that into account, it's going to take a lot longer than a road with streetlights, because I believe the streetlights at night give you a little boost. But I'm not 100% sure on that, so let's test that. That's why we're here. So yeah, it's a pretty easy setup. We will check all the trucks when they make it back here. I don't know. I think I know, but I don't know that they're going to all make it back to the depot, because they may run out of fuel before they get it back. So the 10-kilometer round trip doesn't feel very long, but maybe it's too long for them anyways. So let's just get going and see how it works. We are at a normal day-night cycle here. Okay, I'm pausing here because we have a chance to check something out. So this is the warehouse truck that's on the dirt road, warehouse 1. Actually, it looks like, oh, this truck actually left early, I remember that. So let's put that one over here, and this truck, same thing. What I want to look at is these all have driven for approximately the same amount of time, just a little longer maybe on the left side than on the right side, but approximately the same amount of time. They obviously have not driven for the same amount of distance, so far, let's let this run just a little more. Now they've driven to about the same point there, and what I want to see is from here, delete all the other points, from here to here is approximately how long? It's about 1,700 meters. So this truck on the left has driven 3,400 meters longer or more than this truck, which also almost is double. probably close to double the distance. The truck on the right has driven so far about 3,300 meters. That's fine. The truck on the left has driven about 1,670 meters. Yeah, that's about double. Let's call that double. Okay, so that makes my point pretty easy, I think. If you look at it, the truck on the left, which is this truck, Warehouse 5, currently at fuel level 371. So it's not about half, but it's close. The truck on the right is not quite that low, but it's pretty low. And once he gets to this point, let's put a marker there. Actually, let's use a railroad piece. Yeah, this is our marker, just so we can find it again. That's the point where the truck on the left is about 371 liters. And I'm assuming this truck will get pretty close to that same number. Let's see. 71, 365, just a little more. That's interesting to see, but hey, yeah, it is what it is. Maybe the one on the left is just a little more efficient than this one. It may have something to do with how I started the trucks, but what I really want to look at is the truck on the left right now has used almost as much fuel, but driven only half the distance. That's really the important thing that I want to look at right now. So let's just follow this truck a little more and see what we come down to. Just a quick check-in, this is our line that we're crossing. Earlier we had 371 liters approximately left, and now we're only down to 184. Let's just write that number down. Okay, something that I kind of expected, but I probably could have done a little better. This truck is out of fuel now. This truck is going to go back to the fuel station. I'm guessing it ran out of fuel somewhere around this area. I probably should have shown you that, but I don't think it's as important for the point that I'm trying to make here. It's just dirt roads, mud roads are not great. Let's lay out what we have here. So warehouse 1 is on the left. That's this, and then we just go from left to right. So warehouse 2 is the gravel road. Warehouse 3 is the first asphalt. Warehouse 4, this is asphalt with sidewalk and lights. And the last one is Warehouse 5. Now, they all drove a little bit in the night. There wasn't a lot of night driving, and the night is not very long, but there was some night driving. So let's look at what we see. Obviously, mud road, you ran out of fuel completely. Just period. So that's good to know. Gravel, you did not run out of fuel. You used a little more fuel than the asphalt road that we can see here, but not a ton. And then we compare asphalt to lights. Lights used a little less. That's interesting. I'm not sure. This may actually be the number difference for night driving and not night driving. And then the asphalt, the trolleybus road used just a little less. I'm going to call this almost the same. That could be from the little discrepancy over here that has to drive a little less. But what do we learn from this one? A mud road is absolutely not a good option, just because this is not a real mathematic equation, but the consumption of fuel that you have for your trucks, not even talking about efficiency right now, the consumption of fuel for your trucks is calculated by the time they drive. So the longer they drive, the more they use. It is also related to speed, it's related to max speed on the road, it's related to starting and stopping, all that other stuff, but in general, the longer they drive, the more they consume. So, if you're able to drive faster in the time that you're driving, you're going to consume less. I don't know if you remember earlier when I stopped, we were at about 594 liters on the truck on the mud road, and approximately 571 liters on the other truck from the asphalt road. They were driving for the same amount of time, but the asphalt road went twice as far in the same time with the same amount of fuel. Why is that important? Simply, if you play games where you don't want to start right next to the border post all the time, you will need to be able to import something or just get to the border or do something else somehow. If you use mud roads, you're going to have a bad time because you're going to have to put fuel stations in many more places than if you didn't have mud roads. Now, something I do want to point out, the max speed of these trucks is 62. Only 62. That means the gravel road, they go 62. On the asphalt, no, sorry, the gravel road, they will only go 60 kilometers per hour on. On the asphalt road, they will only go up to 62. They're not going to go faster. What does that mean? The faster your truck can go max speed, the more efficient it's going to be, and the further they will be able to go on a truckload, on a fuel load. So that's really the takeaway here. But I think in general, you get the gist already with what we have. And that's what I want to look at. Now, let's see how these roads react when we have snow or rain or other things. So I'll see you in a bit. We are back exactly at the start of the last test. The trucks just are about to leave, and that is great. And this is what we saved earlier. All I want to see now, and this is why I have cheat menu on, all I want to see is what happens when we have rain. We do know what the max speed on each of these roads is, so let's let these trucks go. Then I want to see what the actual difference is to, well, dry road versus wet road. Yeah, it took a little while. Our first truck over here is currently going 61. So he really does not have a penalty for driving on here. There's a 1 km/h penalty versus dry. So that is nice. The next truck that we have, this guy is going the max speed on the water. Cool. So that should not make a huge difference. Then we have this guy. Stopped raining. There we go. Should start raining here pretty soon. There we are. So it's raining again. This guy is going 61 km/h, so no huge difference. This guy, I'm assuming, is also going 61 km/h. Very nice. This guy, haha, is going 8 km/h. So I'm not going to do the full test. You can just see that the logic is still the same. The longer you drive, the more fuel you consume, and the faster you can drive over the distance or over the time that you've been driving, the further you will get. Mud roads in rain are completely useless. You can't do anything with them. You're not going to move. So don't use mud roads when you play with weather on. Cool. Let's go to the next test. Let's see night driving, what the difference is there. Okay, we're back. There's one change I had to make. I added substations every really close, so the just the lights on the streets can actually consume whatever they need to consume. So we can actually see the real difference here. So they're really close to each other. These are not optimally placed, but they're just placed to make sure that we have enough power connected to everything. I believe you only have to connect it to each edge. So everything in between nodes. A node is a little pink thing that's sometimes easier to see than other times. These guys are nodes. So every time in between those are edges, and as long as they have a connection to power, they should be fine. It is going dark, which is exactly what we wanted, so I will send these trucks out. So they will all go out, they will refuel because that's what their initial start is always, and we will see if the nighttime has an impact on the max speed that they can drive on the respective roads, and see how that goes. It's not dark enough yet. Once the lights turn on, you will know that it's dark enough to matter. Here we go. And another quick tidbit. You see that these street lights over here just turned on? They will only turn on if you provide power. If I turn off power import, those lights will turn off. Obviously also on the buildings, but the street itself does not show that it needs a power connection. As you can see here, it's not going to anything. It's just saying, hey, whatever. One thing, now that I'm saying that it's pretty obvious that trolleybus road lights are also not turning on, but they actually have a real power connection. So let's just give them what they need. So they have power, and we can have a valid test. I don't think this affects any of the other tests because during the day we don't need daylight anyways, so that shouldn't make a huge difference. Get all these connected, and there we go. Everything is now turned on, everyone has lights, everyone that can. So let's see what these trucks, what the difference is for these trucks. First over here, you're going 26 km/h at night on the dark road. For comparison, the max speed is 35. So, yeah, you're slower. You're not terribly slow, but you're slower, so you're going to be less good on the mud road. Over here, 61 km/h, 60. I think this is a rounding error. They can go 62. I don't know that they can go any faster than this, so that's the same speed as going on rain. Over here, 61 going on the asphalt road. That's not making a real difference. Over here, we're going 61, 62, so it looks like they're all going the same. On gravel, we're going 45. So on gravel, we're going a lot slower. This is 60 is the max. So actually, I thought that the lights make the difference, but it looks like in this case, maybe not. Is it possible that a faster truck could go faster on these roads? Yeah, totally. Let's find that out. So I'm going to take these two trucks and just going to copy their routes on a much faster vehicle. And what do we have? I think this one's the fastest. It's up to 90 kilometers per hour. So I'll just say you go there and you go here, and we'll see what the difference is. So I did have to wait for the next night because we were already pretty close to the end. These guys can go because all we need to see is once the lights turn on right now, I want to see what their speed is. Let's let this guy straighten out. There we go. And now what do we have? 82 on the asphalt road without lights, and 89 essentially max speed on the asphalt road with lights. So there is a small difference. It's not huge, but there definitely is a difference. Something else that's interesting, RPM on the one with lights is 6 versus on the one without lights is 1. So it feels like this one may use a little less fuel just because over there. Now that's an interesting development that I actually want to see more of. We are using warehouse 3 and 4. So 3 is this one. Let's get that one going. And then 4 is this one. Good. I just want to see if that is true for the big trucks as well. Doesn't even have to be day and night. I just want to see what the RPM is there. It's just a bonus test that I'm really curious about. So I'll just skip forward just a couple seconds until these guys are moving. Nope. Kind of what I thought. The RPM is probably related to the speed and the weight that you're pulling and whatever you're doing here. And in this case, they are pretty much similar. So the RPM had nothing to do with the lights. It was just related to the speed that other car was going just a little faster, which there was a bigger difference than I expected. But okay, now we know the ones with lights are a tiny bit faster than the ones without lights. But does it really matter for all your trucks? Depends how fast you want to go. If you have really fast trucks, then yeah. If you have slow trucks, no. Okay, last test, snow. Let's check out the snow, and we'll be right back. Okay, we have arrived at our last test. I did update two things. One, we have snowplows now, and we will not use them right away, but I want to see what the difference is with snowplows versus without. So that's the first difference. The second difference is I added the two trucks that we just had for warehouse 3. That's this lane, just asphalt, and warehouse 4. That's this lane, asphalt and traffic lights, to see if there's a difference. But yeah, I'm going to send out the little ones first, because if there is a snarl up, the bigger trucks will definitely slow them down. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, there was this little snarl up at the beginning because I need to get to snow with the cheat menu, but here we are. This guy is going 51 kilometers per hour instead of the 62 that it could. So there is that. This guy is also going 51 kilometers per hour instead of the 90 that it could. So I guess there's not a huge difference for this type of truck on the trolleybus road. So let's see if there's differences anywhere else. This guy is going 51. This guy's going 51. So I think overall, last one, this guy's also going 51. All of these are slower than what they could without the snow. But it's not as big of a difference as I expected on the asphalt roads, especially for these trucks. They only lose a little bit of speed, so maybe they could care less if there's snow on the road. Very cool, very interesting. This guy, however, on the gravel road is going 27 kilometers per hour on snow, which is about half the speed that it wants to go. So interesting. And then this guy goes 16 kilometers per hour. It's not as slow as when it rains, but it's pretty slow. Also, a little less than half the speed. So snow is not great. But I think it's interesting that asphalt roads themselves are still relatively fast. Like, this is really close to the max speed of this guy that it has anyways. So that's good to know. It looks like it's getting dark, which is awesome, because then we can see if night and snow have an impact as well. Okay, everything is really hard to see, but I needed to turn on the trolleybus road too that didn't have power yet. This guy looks like there's no difference at night. They just go a little slower. That's good to know. What about this guy? You're also going the same speed as just with snow. RPM, as you can see, is really nice. So yeah, that's definitely just speed related. This guy is actually moving a little faster than this. So it looks like at night, the regular asphalt road without lights still loses a little bit of speed compared to the asphalt roads with light. That's awesome. That's awesome that all of this plays in. Yeah, I think we know everything now. Better roads are totally worth it, 100%, because at night you slow down, in the rain you slow down, in the snow you slow down. Just the amount that you slow down depends on what type of road you have. Which road is the best one? Asphalt road without lights seems to be pretty close to good. You will gain a little more at night, but if you don't play with the night game on, it's probably fine. Like for my YouTube series, I don't play with night just because it's hard for you to see. On the other hand, the one on the right here with lights is a little better. Let's check it out with the snowplows just to see what happens. There are a couple interesting things. I only caught this guy at the end. He didn't slip over to fast speed right away, but in the plowed area, it's going 88 kilometers per hour. I mean, that was kind of expected. So if a road is plowed, they just go straight back up to their normal speed. What's this guy doing? Oh, we have more snow coming in. Wonderful. This guy's also going 61. So yeah, it looks like the roads are doing the same thing if they're plowed as if it's not even winter. That's kind of expected. Something that I found very interesting, however, look at this. Currently, my mechanical services or technical services has everything set to 25%. Office working rate is 3,000 meters, which means everything is kind of included. However, for whatever reason, it decided that over here, there's a note here, if you care. There's a note right there. There's a pink note there and there. Apparently there's none here, but there's one here. But it decided to only go up to here, and there are no snowplows parked here. They're not going out there. However, they are still plowing the asphalt roads. Yep, just on all of these, and the snowplows over here are now moving, but I think this has more to do with the new snow that's coming in. So it seems, and this is a projection, this is not a real test for this, but it seems that asphalt roads are being plowed further. I think that has something to do with the time it takes to get out there. Something else that you're probably curious about, the plowing speed is the same for all different roads. So there's left is mud, middle is gravel, and right is asphalt. Sorry, this one is asphalt now. They're all 23 kilometers per hour, so there's no difference there. But yeah, look at this. They just stopped here. I don't know why. I don't want to test that out right now, but it's something that someone may be able to tell me. That would be pretty cool. This guy's coming in. Yep, they're just driving their normal speed now, and that is good to know. But yeah, that's all the tests we had. That's all we wanted to figure out, and I think we learned something today. If you did, like and subscribe. If you have some impressions or some ideas or some thoughts of what I should do next time, please let me know. But for right now, that's all I have. So is it worth upgrading your roads? 100% yes. At least up to asphalt. The other two are only really matter if you want to play with night. But if you do play with night, it's probably worth to have some light on your roads, and then make sure that you have enough power supply for the roads that have lights. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. I'll see you again next time. Bye.